Great. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for our monthly webinar that we've been doing so far. We're just going to give it just a couple seconds. There's still folks coming into the webinar. So we're going to have a great webinar today, and as well, I'm going to open up with just some introductions just before we get started. So bear with us just another moment here. All right, so it's 10:02. The goal is we've been generally running these for an hour. So sometimes we're right on the hour. Sometimes we do finish a little earlier. But we're going to plan to hold the webinar here today just for an hour. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining us. So today we're pleased to have Jennifer Burns. She's our colleague at Breton Ability. She manages our Learning and Employment Center. And right now we're running a really innovative youth day program pilot, partnering with the Department of Community Services. So offering youth day program opportunities to individuals the ages of 16 to 24. So Jen is going to be joining us today to speak to the program. As well, we have both Em and I worked on a list of pre-prepared questions that we are going to ask Jen. So it's going to be a Q&A kind of style interview. As well, we're going to leave lots of time at the end. So if anyone has a question on the webinar here today, we'll open the lines and we'll certainly invite you to ask those questions. And as well, as we are going through the webinar, if there are any questions that pop up in your mind, please feel free to write them in the chat. I will be monitoring the chat as we go along, and we can ask those questions once we hit the question period. As well, just so everyone has a heads up, at 11:30 a.m. today, after we complete the webinar at 11. So we will be sending out a survey just based on today's live webinar. We'd like to get your feedback basically on how we can improve, what are some topics you would like to see going forward into the future, and just any comments and feedback. We really appreciate it. It helps us to do these monthly webinars and helps us to improve each month. So I just want to just mention a couple things we have going on at Breton Ability. So right now, and I will pop this in the chat, so we are partnered with two other charitable foundation organizations across Nova Scotia, our colleagues in the Valley at King's Regional Rehabilitation Center with their Apple Tree Foundation, and the Meadows and Mountains Charitable Foundation too. They're a sister facility to us. So we're raising funds through Rafflebox online 50/50. The draw finishes this Friday at midnight, and it will be held next week. So I'm going to pop a link in the chat there. So certainly invite you to purchase your ticket. Last month's winner took over $500 home. So it's a great way for the three of our foundations to raise vital funds that we need to roll out the programs and services for the individuals that we support. So I'll be popping that in the chat and would certainly appreciate your support. And as mentioned, just going through my script here, we'll do questions and answers at the end. I know some people just came on, so we'll leave lots of time for that. And as well, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our newsletter. We look to put them out bi-weekly, just featuring items with our PDP program. And as well, we will have upcoming news on webinars in the future. So before we get started, I just want to mention at any time, we certainly invite folks on the call to get in touch with myself or Emma, just in regards to our person-directed planning program. So in collaboration, we are partnering with the Department of Community Services to roll out this pilot program. There are two other respective organizations across the province as well rolling out this program, Autism NS, in Halifax, and as well as our colleagues at Summer Street in New Glasgow. So if any persons or individuals that you work with have any specific goals, for example, that they would like to work towards, please get in touch with us. We'll develop a personal directive plan, and you can, Em and I have completed two webinars the last number of months, so I encourage you to watch those. And as well, we'll have more webinars upcoming in the future. And if you'd like to learn more, just get in touch, and we'd love to chat to you. So with that being said, it's now, I'm going to turn things over to Jennifer Burns. As mentioned, we do have a Q&A style of questions we're going to be asking Jennifer. And as mentioned, please put any questions you have in the chat, and we can hopefully answer them at when we hit questions at the end. So Jennifer, thank you for joining us today. I know how much you love doing these webinars and having an audience. So thank you so much for joining us. So I guess first off, we just kind of want to get started. So can you just basically tell us about the Youth Day Pilot program, just for someone who doesn't know anything about it? What would you tell them?
So just a basic overview before we get into the question and answer, give too much away. We're a program that's based with ages 16 to 24 youth. And our main goal with our program is to, for individuals to be able to possibly live on their own, give them all the skills necessary to be able to move out onto their own and gain and hold employment, so that they feel like they're productive and an included member of their community. So a lot of the things that we do include teaching them some interview skills and goal setting, so that when they come to our program, they set a goal. A lot of the individuals that we're working with right now have set goals, and part of that goal is to gain employment in the community. So they're learning the skills, budgeting skills, to be able to do that. They're sitting in on classroom and learning some interview skills. So, different things that they would do on a daily basis would be like an apartment, how to take care of an apartment, and learning how to meal prep and do laundry, bed making, cleaning. They take part in a gardening program. So a lot of our program is based on individuals wanting to be able to get out and get on their own, and the skills necessary to be able to do that.
That's great. So if you don't mind, could we get into our questions? David left us for a second. He's just moving offices. I'm just going to share the screen. I have the questions and the answers on there so everyone can see them. Okay. All right. So to begin, where is the Youth Day program hosted?
So the Youth Day program operates out of our Learning and Employment Center at Breton Ability. It's towards the back of Breton Ability. So they operate out of our learning department there. And our learning department is basically a mock apartment style area that they use.
Okay. No, that's great. I was going to ask if you could clarify where the Learning and Employment Center was, but you answered that. So we already kind of talked about what ages can participate. So David said 16 to 24. I guess a question going off of that would be, say somebody is 24 years old, but turning 25 during the program, are they still able to participate?
Yes, they can still participate if they turn 25 in that time period. I also have had approval for a 25-year-old to be able to start the program as a 25-year-old. So I mean, there's a little bit of leeway on the upper hand of it. 24, 25 years old.
Okay, awesome. So what kind of activities will participants engage in?
So a lot of our activities are community based. So they do a lot of as you can see, shopping, bowling, escape rooms. They just they had a trip to Shetty Camp, and they do day trips and things like that. But we're surrounded around life skills, so being able to cook, their own meals, environmental cleanup around the property. They take part in a gardening program. They've planted their own vegetables and flowers and everything. We have a garden in the back. So they're learning how to plant and harvest those. They've done some volunteering, so volunteering in the community with Fortress of Lewisburg and Loaves and Fishes. So they've gone down to Loaves and Fishes and been able to, you know, give out meals and help prepare meals. They've also gone into Meals on Wheels and learned how to access different things like that. They take a money management class once a week. So different skills that they need to learn, how to manage their money if they do get a job out in the community, and, you know, how to pay bills if they were to get their own apartment and things like that. Using public transit, they learn how to use the bus route, being able to call a cab, you know, knowing that the cab costs money, how much you're going to have to spend to get a cab to the grocery store if they were to go to the grocery store. So, you know, things like that. They, you know, they're actively looking for employment. So our youth day workers are working with them to look into the community of things that are interesting to them, that where they would like to go be able to hold a job. So they're working on interview skills to be able to do, to be able to go look for a job in the community.
Okay, great. I guess too, going off of that, are these like pre-planned activities that you and the staff there come up with, or do some of the participants also kind of give their input on things that they'd like to do?
So the participants have a lot of input on being able to, you know, decide as a group. So they're kind of working as a team together on, you know, what we would like to do this week for an activity on the outside. Where would you like to volunteer? Last week, one of the individuals asked if they could volunteer at the parks in the area. So, you know, the participants have a lot of input on, you know, where they want to be able to go grocery shopping, where they want to volunteer or take, you go to activities in the community. So
okay, that's great. So what does a typical day look like for individuals that are taking part in the Youth Day program?
So a typical day, you know, their days are scheduled out. So when they come in the morning, they know what is expected for the day. They take part in being able to plan for the next day's activities. So for an example, today they're going into the community, they're going to do some grocery shopping because tomorrow they're going to prepare a meal in the learning department. So they have already left in cabs this morning to go into the community to take part into a few activities, and then they're going to go grocery shopping and picking up what they've decided as a group that they're going to cook for a meal tomorrow. So they also have, you know, they have to take care of the garden in the morning. You know, they have certain things that is planned out for them on a daily basis. And then they also sit at the end of the day together and plan what they're going to do for the next day. So last week they had gone on a field trip, you know, a day trip to Shetty Camp and Marguerite and around, you know, that area. And they made a list of the things that they wanted to be able to do. They wanted to go out into canoes. They wanted to, you know, access the go-kart. They wanted to have a picnic at a park. So all of that was planned out. So they needed to rent vehicles to be able to do that. So they were all part of, you know, how do we rent a vehicle? Where do we look for to rent a vehicle? How much is that going to cost? And kind of put that into the budgeting. So they were all part of that as well.
Yeah, that's awesome that they're getting really involved. I knew they were involved to some extent, but I didn't realize they were actually doing some of the planning with you guys.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess, do all days look the same? I know you kind of gave us a little bit on that, but is everything going to look similar?
They're not, all days are not similar, but there are the life skill part of it is, you know, every day, you know, that you have to water your garden and take care of, you know, if you're growing a garden, you know, you have to take care for that and the flowers. So that's part of an activity every single day. Making sure that the learning department is clean and, you know, everything is in place, the dishes are washed just your regular everyday things are the same, but activities change from day to day. They may do art one day, they may go into the library another day, they may go bowling another day. So it's not all the same, but there are certain aspects of a typical day that are the same. Just your life skills, basically, that you or I would do every single day that needs to be done, that they understand that, if you don't water your garden for a couple of days, there's a chance that the vegetables or flowers could die. So, they're learning those life skills that has to be done on a daily basis.
Yeah, and it's teaching them like accountability skills too, right? All right, so how have you seen participants improve since they started the program?
Yes, so we've had participants that have started that were very shy, that were reserved and didn't talk a lot, didn't have a lot of conversations. And within the first couple of weeks, we've seen a huge difference. And, we've seen our individuals blossom into being able to carry on a great conversation, giving their input and taking part in, all the activities. So 2 years ago, when we ran this program, we had individuals that actually stayed on with us, one who works in our cafe and at the Best of Cape Breton, and one that works in our print shop and packaging area. So these two individuals were very shy when they first came to the program, and they all set goals, and they've reached the goals that they set for themselves through that program. But we see, I've received a couple of emails from families expressing how the individuals that are in our program right now are happy when they go home at the end of the day. They're excited about everything that they've done in the program. So there really is life-changing opportunities with this program.
Yeah, and I can say too, like working with a few PDP participants that are also involved in the Youth Day program, that I've seen a huge change in them and how they're socializing. They're the same in some ways, but I find that they're developing some skills that they didn't have before, and they feel more comfortable being out in the community for sure.
Yeah.
So what does the application process look like?
So the application process is very simple. It's just an individual application with their name and their birth date, and it's just basic information. And what we do with an application for a participant, we usually let them come in and see the program itself before they decide, they make a full decision on if they would like to be part of the program or not. Most times when people come and view and take a day and be part of our program, they usually want to stay. So it's a good visual for them. A lot of our participants are visual learners, so being able to come in and seeing how their days are run and what they do for programming is a really good benefit for them to be able to decide if they want to be there or not. So once the application is filled out, it's sent to me, and we set up a date for that person to be able to come in and view the program. And then that's simply it. And they start the program and become part of the group.
I guess I have a question from there too. So say an individual came and they wanted to try out the program. Are they allowed to have a support person with them to test it out? I know that I've been there in cases with individuals that I've worked with, but I want to know that maybe there's opportunity for other support people in their lives to go in.
Yep, absolutely. We encourage for somebody, if it's somebody that's very shy or a little bit nervous or has some anxiety, we absolutely encourage a support person to be there with them so that they can make it, a very comfortable visit, and, they can get the best out of the program.
Okay, great. So what are the expectations for commitment to the program for those who participate?
So the program runs 3 days a week right now. It runs Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 to 3. The participants don't have to come all 3 days. They can come one of the days, they can come 2 of the days, they can come 3 half days. They're not solely, to get the best out of the program, the 3 full days would be, the most benefiting, but they don't have to commit to the full 3 days. They could come on Tuesdays if they like, or they could come all mornings or all afternoons. The only thing with coming half days, if they're out in the community, you would have to just plan ahead, knowing, you know, an individual is coming on Wednesday, where would they meet up if they were coming in the morning or the afternoon. So it would just be a little scheduling thing that would have to do, but it's not mandatory for them to stay the full 3 days.
Okay, that's good to note. So I think you already kind of spoke to this, but how long is the program supposed to run for?
So usually the program runs on a 12-week basis. So before it ran for 12 weeks. So it's basically going to run now until the funding runs out. Our program has enough room for up to 7 to 10 participants, and right now we have 5, potentially 6 in the program. So we do have some room for more participants to come and join us. But until the funding runs out, the program will continue on.
Okay, and I guess too, is there an opportunity later on, say your funding ends, will there be a chance for the program to run again in the future?
Yes, we hope that we would continue to be getting funded to run this program. So there potentially could be more time on the end. I think this is kind of the way that, you know, the funding will go if it's a successful program, which ours is running very well right now. They'll continue to hopefully fund us to be able to do this program.
Yeah, let's hope. I'm sure they will though. So if the program continues, can participants who attended be considered to attend again in the future?
Yeah, so right now the participants that I have that have started the program, they're way past their 12 weeks. They had started the program and then we went on lockdown. So the program then became a Zoom program. So they were on the computer 3 days a week. And the youth day worker that we had was doing door drop-offs. So it would have activities. So in the door drop-offs, there would be an art activity for them to do, an outside activity for them to do, and some ingredients to bake something. So one of the days that they would be accessing through Zoom, they would bake together as a group. So they would follow the ingredient list and make something. So they continued on through the program. So I will continue them on through the rest of the funding until that funding ends. And then, you know, usually if they, we hope that at the end of the program that they would be able to look for employment in, or during the program be able to get employment in the community. If not, there is some opportunity for them to stay here and work in our social enterprises. So we have, you know, our Best of Cape Breton and print shop and our cafe and boutique that we have here on site. So they'd be able to still continue to train in those areas.
Okay. Two, I think if we're looking at some of the younger participants, we'll say like 16 years old, are you looking for them to also kind of get employment, or would you hope for them to kind of go into another program?
So it would all depend on what their goal setting is. So when they come into the program, if they set a goal to be able to gain employment in the community, then that's the goal that they will work towards. If they're looking at accessing a program or go to NSCC or wherever it may be to, you know, develop different skills, then we would look at, you know, trying to push them in that direction as well and give them the skills necessary to be able to do that.
Okay, thank you. So what are the benefits of running a program such as the Youth Day program?
So the basic thing is being able to give individuals the means and the necessities to be able to move out on their own, to become more independent and do things on their own, to have the skills necessary to manage their own money, to learn to cook for themselves and take care of themselves if they were to go out into an apartment. We also give them the means necessary to access supports and services in the community, different things that they need, that they could get for funding, you know, ensuring that they have, you know, if they were to move out on their own, that they know how to access different food banks and, you know, different things like that. So, you know, it's a huge benefit for them in this program to be able to get the skills necessary to become more independent, and independence is a big part of this program is, some of our individuals coming in don't have that independence, and our main benefit for this is so at the end of the program they would have more independence and be able to do things on their own.
For sure. Yeah, this is definitely super important to teaching individuals how to be independent. I know it's something that a lot of these individuals are really looking to gain.
Yes, absolutely.
So you spoke about how many participants are already in the program. Did you want to touch more on that?
So we currently, like I said, we currently have 5, possibly a 6th to move into the program. And we can 8 to 10, 7 to 10 participants would be our max that we have capacity to be able to work with. So, there definitely is room to come into the program now. We have one individual that could potentially be starting in the next week or so. So just because the program is running and has been developed doesn't mean that somebody can't come in halfway through or come in right now. And we've already been working for, 15 to 20 weeks.
Okay. So say the program fills up, you have the full 10 participants. Is there an opportunity for people to be on a wait list or something like that?
Yeah, so absolutely, we can create a wait list, and hopefully that if we receive funding after this program is complete, that we would be able to, run another program, and those people that were on a wait list waiting to get into a program like this would be able to move up into the program when we get more funding.
Okay, great. So who are the individuals that are actually like boots on the ground working the program?
So Doug Murphy has started with us from the beginning, and he is by trade a behavioral interventionist who has worked at Breton Ability in the past as an RCW. So he is fantastic, and he's been working a lot with different groups in the community and trying to incorporate our participants into a lot of different areas. Bridget McDonald is new with us within the last month. She has a bachelor's degree and she's concentrated in child development. So she works with children with varying abilities. So she has a lot of experience with her as well. So we have 2 fantastic youth day workers that are running a top-notch program. And, the sky's the limit with these guys. They continue to bring in so many different opportunities for our participants that it amazes me every day how well that our participants are benefiting from these opportunities that these 2 are creating for them.
For sure. And just having been at the Youth Day program a few times, like seeing how they interact with the individuals that are a part of it is crazy. Like they are very, very well prepared for their positions, and they're looking to watch these people flourish.
Absolutely.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, they definitely want the best for them, and they want them to definitely meet the goals that they're setting.
For sure. So I guess it's just your contact information. This is how you can get in contact with Jen. Her email is there, and that is her phone number. Is there any other way people can reach out, I guess?
This is probably the best way. Email is probably definitely the best way to get a hold of me or contact my number, leave me a message if I don't answer. But yeah, absolutely. Email is probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Okay, great. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we can open up now for some questions. Are you ready for that, Jen?
Sure.
Okay. All right, so if anyone has any questions, you can just turn your mic on or your camera, or if you want, you can just pop it in the chat.
I know everybody is just clamoring to ask a question here, so I'll give everyone a couple moments. So Jen, I'll ask a question. Terrific presentation, and thank you so much for joining us. The work you guys are doing is awesome, and I've witnessed it, and same with Emma, really making a difference in these young persons' lives. So just a quick question, and maybe an FYI for individuals too on the call. How many years have we been operating this program?
So this is the 2nd full year that we've been operating the program. We operated it 2 years ago, and then recently, we kind of had a break there when COVID hit, and we've come back within the last year again. So it's 2 years that we've been running this program.
Oh, we have a question coming in here, so I'll just read the question. It's from Annette Wilson. Thank you, Annette. Annette's wondering about the level of ability of the participants, particularly ages 16 to 18, as I'm wondering, she's wondering they wouldn't be attending school. So can you speak to that, Jen, just the ability of the participants?
So basically, that's why we ask that, you know, if you want to come in and have a look at the program and see if the program suits the individual, if they're able to, you know, take part in the programming piece, that would probably be the best bet. We don't, you know, we don't say no to anybody. You know, come in and have a look at the program, and, you know, if they can benefit from the program at any cost, absolutely come in, and, you know, we can introduce them to the program to see if they would be able to, you know, each individual is going to gain a skill somewheres along the line. They may not be able to necessarily take part in absolutely everything, and that's okay. They absolutely will benefit from something in the program.
Yeah, great stuff. And Annette, just to follow up on your question, just why Annette was wondering why the 16 to 18-year-olds aren't, why they would not be attending school. So Annette, we've been running this program in the summer, so we haven't gone too deep in the fall. So and one of the reasons we do offer in the summer, because we want to include as many people as possible. So thanks for that question. Okay, next question from Kaylee Simpson. Kaylee has the question, is there a reason for an age limit, Jen? And could that age limit ever be lower to assist younger participants?
So basically, it's what the province, what we're funded for is, you know, they're trying to target that age group. With the research, that seems to be the age group that, you know, they need the most support in. So that's basically what, no, that's not something that we've chosen an age group. That's basically what we're funded for, to be able to target that age group. So with the research up the line, that's the targeting age group that they see that needs the most, you know, programming and be able to, you know, earn those life skills.
Okay, and just have a comment here from Calvin Wardley. Calvin just saying, it sounds like a great program. Thanks, Calvin. Would you be able to add your contact information into the chat? So Jen, if you could just add your contact information, contact phone number, and email, that'd be great. And as well, everybody, tomorrow morning, we're going to be sending along the slides from this presentation. And as well, Jennifer's contact information will be in there too as well.
Yeah, the email we're sending out later as well for the survey also has Jen's information on it too.
Yeah. And anyone too, when we forward tomorrow's email, who might have missed this webinar and you feel that they could you know, benefit from it, we are going to include our YouTube link of this webinar today that we'll be sending out tomorrow. And we certainly encourage you to share and forward in your networks.
Hi guys, it's Annette again. Rather than typing stuff in, I just want to get some clarification where we do the children's program, the disability support program. And again, I'm kind of stuck on the 16 to 18. So you say it's a 12-week or more program. The kids that we have that would not be attending school at that age would not be attending due to significant behavioral issues. So these are not the kind of kids that you're looking at having in this program. You're looking at job readiness, skills, public transportation. So there's where I'm kind of confused in the age group. And I know you said you had done it through the summer. Is it something that could be just well, now we're into probably a 4-week in the summer till they go back to school in September. I wouldn't want to refer someone or get a family linked up that where their child is home because they are not able or allowed to attend school. You know, I don't think that's the population that you're serving.
Yes, you're probably correct in saying that they would need to be able to, like I said, if it's somebody that you would like me to go out and, you know, have a conversation with, or, you know, that would be fine as well. But it would be individuals that we're trying to ready to be able to go out and move on their own, to gain employment in the community and give the skills necessary to be able to do that.
Just a quick couple of comments here, just going through, just from Chris McLean here. Thank you, Chris. Chris basically saying that he knows from working in the past, sometimes parents want to help their children or young adults gain skills that they need to transition from home to independent living. So yeah, no, Chris hit it right on the head. And those are some of the skills, for example, that folks are working on to make them independent. I know some of the folks in the program have goals, whether it's to live, you know, in a community small options home or through the independent living support program. They just need some extra support, for example, to help with those goals. So thank you for that comment.
Going off of that as well, I have a few people through the PDP program that have been interested in the Youth Day program. And not every individual has expressed that they're looking to find skills to help them within like a job. There are some that are just simply looking to prepare to live independently in the future. Although some of them may be younger, like we'll say leaning more towards the 16 years old. Their parents really think that it's something that would be good to help them so that later on, when they may not be able to live at home, they have these skills ready in case something ever happened.
Okay, so maybe we'll just give it another minute if there's, let's wait to see, guys, if there are any more questions come in, but if not, we'll look to sign off there. So maybe we'll kind of do just a last call for any questions or anything on your mind that we could speak to. And as mentioned, you can feel free to touch base with, you know, myself or Emma at any time there. Most of you on the call are subscribed to our newsletter, so you can just hit reply. We'll get those replies, for example, as well. And we'd like just to thank folks on this call we've been working with and helping us get more referrals for the program and offer services and supports. We're receiving a lot of really great feedback and really helping folks progress on their goals. And I guess a part of this monthly webinar, why we look to do this too, is we want to share the good information of organizations, for example, like this program in particular. This pilot program is not just at Breton Ability. There are other sites throughout Nova Scotia offering this project with the supported DCS. So I know it's all our ultimate goal to see this program get funded into the future. It only really it can only benefit the individuals and youth, and as everyone knows, there is a significant wait list, right? So if folks can get out of their homes, learn great skills, right, it's a win-win for everybody as we move forward through a transformation. Okay, no takers on questions. All right, everybody. So we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. Stay tuned to our newsletter. As mentioned, we put them out every second week. We will be holding another webinar in August. I'm not going to give too much away because I'm going back and forth trying to book the person, but we're going to look at exploring the topic of mental health. So for example, part of the person-directed pilot program that we are offering here at BAC. So we are looking to work with work with people with their goals, for example, with not only varying abilities, but as well having mental health struggles. So mental health, important topic, as everyone is aware. So we're looking to have a conversation with a local group next month to learn more about the topic and learn more about the good work that they're doing here within CBRM. Okay, so thank you to everybody for attending. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the future. Take care, everybody.
Thanks very much.